Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
It's the house!
Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
Have you lost the last 3 brain cells, or do you just have cabbage for brains?
You know, that's just one step above stupid. Did you hear what I said? There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
How the hell's it gone? Yeah, that's probably not true, Lisa. Yeah. You know, if it's Nancy Grace's title, it's probably not going to be a true piece of information. All right. All right. Yeah, so we got a whole bunch of poll questions, and you guys can do super chats for your own poll questions if you want. You can send super chats in because you like my channel, and we're trying to reach our goals every single night. I wasn't able to make a video today because I went fishing this morning with my kid, and he, let's see, what is it? He actually caught a pretty big one this morning. You know, it was pretty big. Look at this. Look at this fish. It's my, you know, look at that. That's pretty big largemouth bass right there. It was 3 pounds, 3 1/4 pounds. Not bad, not bad. And then what was the other piece? Oh yeah, and then somebody sent me this right here. This is over at the Libyan Abbey ballpark. In memory of Blue Hughes, the best dog, the best friend, a beloved freak. We love you. There you go. There you go, you guys. Isn't that cool? Right there. We got the in memory of Blue. That's right. He was the mascot here for years. You know, or whatever you call it. I'm not sure if mascot's the right word, but all right. So yeah, so as you guys know, on this channel, every single night we try to raise funds to help support the channel, and it allows at the end of the month, because I get ad revenue and all the other things, that we're able to donate money as well because of the income. If nobody was helping the channel, we wouldn't be able to do our donations, and we're up to, I think, 255,500 now since January of 2020, a channel making a difference. By the way, we cover cases and, you know, outside of that, helping different organizations in the true crime world. Yeah, you know what sucks is, like, there's these channels out there, and I was just watching. One of them got like 60,000 views on a video. I mean, I got 80 something on the same type of video. But it was just kind of weird that many people actually believe that stuff. I mean, just total bullcrap observations, just all sort of, you know, always with a skeptical eye that there's something going wrong. And it's just crazy to see all the people commenting, you know. It actually makes me nervous for society in general, because you know, the fact that that's more popular, that type of bull crap, it's scary. All right, so as I just said a minute ago, this channel relies on the generosity of the people watching. We're currently at $2. All right, so we need to get moving here so that the night has a nice flow to it instead of just, you know, sitting here and there's no flow and we're just going over cases. I mean, questions and polls, and you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, absolutely nuts. All right, so there's the blue. All right, well, here is the first question. Yeah, so Kohberger completely turned his phone off 4 times, you know, with all those different things, the location, etc., including the night of the homicides. What was he doing on those other 3 times? What do you guys think? I think, in my opinion, on at least one of those other 3, he went into that house. Yeah, I think there's a very good chance that that's what he was doing, because he didn't. That's something he would turn his phone off for. Not driving around and looking and monitoring. But if he was going to go in that house, and maybe when he went into other homes, maybe practicing or whatever he's doing, he turned it off. What do you guys think about that? No, we don't know if it would connect to their Wi-Fi or not. He has to have logged onto a Wi-Fi for it to passively connect, I think. Right? Isn't that right? There are 2 distinct scenarios that come to mind when considering passively logging on. This is standard necessarily process for wireless devices to discover available networks. This is a newer, very low power method of transmitting data over Wi-Fi. When you're, what do they mean by that actually? When they say passively logged in, does that mean you've already logged in there before and it is noticing that network and is trying to log in again? Yeah, we're still just like nothing happened. There's nothing more demoralizing when you say, hey everybody, if you're out there and you can help support the channel, and it just goes not a soul after all the work and stuff I've been doing day after day after day. That's what's a weird feeling, you know. You think people go, oh yeah, shit, yeah, great, okay, here we go. Yeah, it's wild. So anyways, what do you guys think of that? Kohberger completely turned his phone off 4 times, including the night of the homicides. What was he doing on those other 3 times? What do you guys think? You think so? All right. And I don't know what passively... I looked up passively... Let's see. Let's see. What's the name of that program? Celebrate forensic software. What does passive Wi-Fi login mean? In the context of Celebrite and digital forensic, passive Wi-Fi login refers to the device's ability to record Wi-Fi network information without actively connecting to those networks. I mean, so couldn't that just mean he's driving by even if he's never been in there before? Hey, thanks, Ralph. Automatic scanning. Your device constantly scans for available Wi-Fi networks. Its vicinity even when you aren't intentionally connecting, or even when Wi-Fi is supposedly disabled. Forensic value. The passively collected data can be valuable in forensic investigation because it indicates where a device has been, even if the user didn't intentionally connect to those networks. Okay, Well, that means that's a totally different meaning, you guys. Don't you agree? Like, the way that independent article worded it, it made it sound like, ooh, it passively logged in, like he was already logged in before. This could just be he was driving by and it was searching for a network. And there was one there, and that's all it did. So that makes it very much less likely that he'd been in there and Madison or Xana were in there, right? No, Sandy Shirley, that's not what I said. You weren't paying attention. It says that all it is it's going around searching for Wi-Fi networks. And it doesn't matter if you've ever logged in before or not. It'll say, here's one that's available. That's what this definition is saying right here. It doesn't mean that you've ever logged in before. Yes, he logged on even though he didn't know it. No, it doesn't mean he logged in. It's saying right here, the passively collected data can be valuable for forensic investigation because it indicates where a device has been, even if the user didn't intentionally connect to those networks. Like, it just means it's like driving by. It's not, I don't know. That doesn't mean that he was in there. Doesn't mean that he was in there. You know, if he'd gone in there, well, he could have. If he'd gone in there, they'd probably give out the password, right, to use it. Hey, look at that. It's Brown-Eyed Girl again. Man. Where is that? You, my brown-eyed girl. Anyways, thank you. Appreciate it. As his device was detected as he came within range, even if it didn't know it. Right. Right. To me, it means that it just drove by. And you know how when you're somewhere and you look on your phone and it says, I mean, it doesn't say passive logon attempt, though. You know, it sounds like it's like, well, see how it works, it says. Well, let me just put this on the screen so you can look at it. Your device constantly scans for available Wi-Fi networks in its vicinity, even when you aren't intentionally connecting or even when Wi-Fi's supposedly disabled. Logging network information. When a device encounters a Wi-Fi network, it passively logs information such as network name and the MAC address. See what I'm saying? All that means is, and this is in the context of Celebrate. I actually typed that in. So that's way less nefarious sounding as that article that came out. Don't you agree? What do you guys think about that? This doesn't indicate, now it doesn't indicate to me that he literally was inside of the Mad Greek and he was like ordering food or something, and maybe Xana and Madison were there. That's totally different. I should have looked that up yesterday, but I didn't. Okay, I never even heard that information existed, Ashy Snow, and we're actually talking about something else. I never even heard that there was information that it had elevation change. Now, if there is information that shows that we might come up with later, you know, who knows? I don't know who Kevin Fixler is, nor does he, you know, I mean, he's not an expert on anything. He's a reporter, so maybe there's one of the people out there that actually knows the answer to the question. You know, the investigators, do they have Xana's, Apple Fit information, if that's the kind of phone she used? Did it move around inside the house, like in the case of what's that one, Morphew? Remember that, where it's just like you see the movement inside the house of both of them? Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, the Dateline, the girl that made the animation. Yeah, okay, so what? I don't really care who, if he's an Idaho Statesman or whatever. They're the same ones that put out the sped up version of the 52-minute surveillance footage, not realizing the importance of so many other elements inside of it. All right, really frustrating stuff. All right, anyways, let me keep going through these questions. All right, I guess the next one was really close to that right there. Is there any evidence Kohberger actually met Maddie or Xana at the Mad Greek other than his phone connected to the Wi-Fi there? And now his phone didn't even, it passively, I mean, we already knew that, passively connected to the Wi-Fi there. And now that doesn't even mean he had the password or ever logged in. Right? So, I mean, that just happened to be my next question. So there is none still. All right? All right. Oh, I don't know why. That wasn't meant to be my first two questions. All right, I'm going to go back in time. Sorry. I just had it scrolled down on this. All right. Was Kohberger... was he born? Let me do. I'll make a poll question as the same thing. All right, but was he born a potential serial killer, or 2, was he nurtured into becoming one? Right. So let's see. Let me do a poll. He's a weird guy, man. I mean, all right, there you go. There's the poll question. Yeah, it's the whole nature versus nurture. That's why I used the word nurture. Couldn't you tell? Hey, Lillian. Thank you. And then also Eric earlier today. Thank you. All right, what do we got on the poll? I'm not going to put both. I think it's usually either one or the other. It's not both. All right. That's just not wanting to answer the question. Let's be honest. You know, we'd be at $4 without Brown Eyed Girl, you guys. And you guys know what we do here on this channel, all right? All right, so we got 57, born a potential serial killer. 55, born that way. I did too. I think that's just the way he is. His sisters and everything, they all seem pretty normal, the rest of them. Well, I think, I mean, he sort of studied serial killers. I guess I have these other questions are coming up here. All right, that was the first one. And we'll end that poll now with born the potential serial killer was the leading answer. And then I guess this is sort of related to, you know, I mean, the thing is if you're born that way, a lot of times you nurture yourself into being who you want to be. You are, right? I mean, that's just what they do. It's not, it doesn't mean that you nurtured yourself into being one. It just means that you're seeking out the things that you that help, let you realize who you are. So here, did he decide to be a killer during his schooling at DeSales University? It's because I wonder if before he didn't know, like he knew had this anger building up, but I wonder at DeSales when he had these classes, did he become like now he wants to be a killer because he's reading about it. You know what I mean? Like before that, there was something off about him. Thank you, Michelle H. Well, I'm using the word potential, like serial killers, because he didn't kill the requisite amount. He was a serial killer who just never got to, he can't be qualified. That's why I have quotes around. That's why it says potential, is because he never became a serial killer, because he only killed, as far as we know, one group of people on a like a mass killing, really. So he doesn't qualify as a serial killer, but I think that's what he wanted to be. All right? I thought that was kind of obvious, what I was saying. Let's see. Hey, Gray and all the freaks. Theo Roy. Yeah, right. So at DeSales is probably where he started thinking, like maybe he's, I don't know, it's weird, right? Maybe he wanted to catch people that are like him and then decided to be like him, be him. Yeah. Did he decide to be a killer? I guess we can do a poll on this one just to see what people think. I'll change it up a little bit, though. Did he decide to be a killer at DeSales before DeSales? Okay, there we go. Mm-hmm. Man, we haven't started off a show with this big of a lull in a long time. Let's see, bullied and loner like list. Now I don't even believe he was bullied and all that. I mean, if he was bullied, it was probably his own doing. He's a killer because he has no empathy. No, he bought the knife before. No, he didn't, because he bought the knife while he was at DeSales, and so you're incorrect there, Aries Moon Queen. That's when he bought the knife just before going to Pullman, Washington. Hey, thanks Allie Cake for gifting a membership. And Stephanie Soda got one. Did he decide to be a killer during his schooling at so what do we have up there? Before DeSales. Okay, so most people think before. Like how, I mean, when you say before, when? Like when he was a kid he wanted to kill people, or like maybe after high school? Yeah, I think at DeSales is when he sort of realized his calling. Like when he knew he felt different than other people. He had anger and just sort of hate for specific people. And then when he was there, he realized that there were others like him. And he can be one of those, but better. All right, so is that before DeSales, 58%. All right. Ending that one. Yeah, I mean, most people, when they're bullied, you at some point you stand up for yourself, and then the bullying stops. All right, let's see. There we go. I think these are pretty interesting questions, to be honest with you. Here's one. Maybe I'll do a poll on that, too. Which killer influenced Kohberger the most? Bundy, Elliot Rodger, Danny Rolling. I mean, I think those are the three that everybody talks about, right? There might be some others, like BTK or whatever the hell, but which killer influenced... Hey, thanks, Leanne Bell. I know, wait for the poll question. I don't know about Bundy. I think Bundy is a big part of it. But I think if you just watched any of the rolling videos I just did, I think that would change your mind almost dramatically. I think Elliot Rodger is somebody that he sort of felt akin to. But he didn't like the way Elliot Rodger went about killing. He wanted to do it in a cool serial killer way, you know. So, all right. Anyways, there's the poll up at the top. Yeah, I mean, Bundy, I made videos on Ted Bundy and Kohberger before he was even, right after Kohberger was arrested, and I made one on Elliot Rodger and Kohberger before we even know who Kohberger was. All right? And it's interesting that Kohberger studied both of those guys. And, but you want to hear something crazy, you guys? I'm not making this shit up. Listen to this. In June of 2022, 5 months before the murders, I did a whole night live stream on Danny Rolling. All right. Then, before the murderer was arrested, I did one on Elliot Rodger and potentially being similar to the killer. Then I did, about a week after the murders, after the arrest, I did one on comparing him to Bundy. Isn't that pretty, it's pretty cool, isn't it? That I was way ahead of these other people who now, oh yeah, I was all on top of it. I honestly think he took a bit of each, including BTK. Now, what part did he take from BTK? He didn't bind or any of that kind of stuff. He didn't, I don't know if he tortured. He seemed to just viciously attack. Did BK actually study Elliot Rodger? That's what they say in the school. Yeah, they say in the school he studied him. At DeSales, I guess. I mean, he may have done, the stalking. Yeah, something like that. Oh, thanks, Lori. Man, thanks, Alley Cake up there. Which part? Are you talking about the stalking, Alley Cake? Yeah, maybe that's it. But, okay, so what do we got? The winner, Danny Rolling up there. Yeah, so if you watched even last night's live stream where I played the prosecutor's opening arguments, you'd see, oh my God, it's crazy. I mean, he went to a store and purchased a K-bar knife. He wore all black and a balaclava, a ski mask. He broke into sliding glass doors. And then there's one of them, the male and a female together. It was so similar to Xana and Ethan, it was almost unbelievable. Like, it's crazy. Although, this guy was more awake than Ethan was. But the K-bar knife, he was able to kill him. And he went right after the male first to get him out of the way. All right, so there we go. We're going to end that poll at 139 there. We don't have anywhere near 1,143 people. We might have like 500 or 600. Oh, cool. Yeah, you should go back and watch the videos. Yeah. We did one. I did a video just a few weeks back again on, or I don't know, maybe not a few weeks, a couple of months ago on Danny Rolling and Kohberger that nobody watched. So I linked it at the end of one of my recent videos, and a few people watched it off of that, but very few. Yeah, he moved from Pennsylvania to the state of Washington. That's exactly what Bundy did. Bundy attacked girls in a sorority, like off-campus sorority house, and that's what he did here. Or I think he went into a sorority, actually, Bundy. And then one of the other elements I thought was interesting is on the drive back home, Kohberger drove through all of Bundy's states that he killed in. He went through, let's see, I think it was, he was in Washington, Utah, Colorado. It's crazy. And then he didn't make it to Florida, but I was just wondering if that route was sort of to pay homage. Well, if you should just don't watch the live streams. Go back and watch the videos that I've made. I've made, I don't know, got probably at least 100 videos on the case. And, over the years that we were covering it, obviously you update stuff. I had the correct route, the loop since the beginning. Just the directions and things that he drove have been altered based on that timeline information that came out during the courts were putting out documents, and some of them had this amazing timeline information about what the camera was seeing, and that's why I'm sort of disappointed at the Idaho Statesman, who just completely I don't know what the hell they were thinking. They completely left out all the important stuff that was in the 52 minutes. Not all of it, but very important stuff they left out. They just go, here, look at this, and they sped up the part. I'm getting sick of the Norm Macdonald bullshit that people say. I don't sound anything like him. I absolutely sound nothing like him at all. People just thought it was funny one time, and now everybody comes in and types it in. It's like a troll move. All right, so I'm actually going to ban the word Norm Macdonald. I sound absolutely nothing like him. I've listened to him. Nothing similar. My voice doesn't sound the same. We don't have the same cadence. There's absolutely nothing similar. All right. Let's see. But you guys, we're having one of those lulls again. So if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the channel, that'd be great. It'd be nice to just kind of get the goal. If you feel like I do a good job on here, my channel actively tries to go and get super chats, etc., so that at the end of the month, there's enough extra to be able to help support various true crime related charities. We already gave $500 out just a couple days ago to Texas EquiSearch, and that's one of the big ones. And we've given $29,000 plus to RAIN, which is Violence Against Women, over the years. Thanks, Ralph David. Roger gave BK the vocab mindset to Brian Kohberger the vocab mindset to be Bundy. Yeah, maybe. That's a little too meta. That's too deep for me, man. God, right after I say we're not saying it, good old Mary has to say it again. Let's see. If we believe that, I would leave Idaho ASAP. Yeah. Will we ever get the video without the time speed? Well, I'm looking for it, but I've, here's the thing. They put it out with 15 times the speed. So if you take the segment that's 15 times the speed and you slow it down to 6.67%, you get the actual speed. And I did that, but you're missing the same percentage, like 92% of the frames. It's stupid. 93% of the frames are missing, so you do see some of it, and it's the right speed, but you're missing, it's like 3 frames a second instead of 30. It's stupid. That's why they're just, it was almost irresponsible to put it out like that. They should have just uploaded the entire 52 minutes. Everybody would have watched it, and I think more people might have even watched that. All right, let's see. All right, so we got next question. All right, start a poll. So this is kind of, sort of related to Elliot Rodger and not sort of, vaguely related. Do you think Kohberger was voluntarily celibate or involuntarily celibate? See, I think he was voluntarily celibate, but maybe he was involuntarily celibate to the type of women that he thought he deserved. Because there was girls that actually thought he was, wanted to be with him, but he didn't want to be with them because they weren't the kind that he wanted to be with. He deserved much better. Just like Elliot Rodger sounded like. I think, that one's one of those ones where it's a little bit of both, because obviously I think he was involuntarily celibate to people like Madison Mogen, and he was voluntarily celibate to people like that Korean girl that liked him, that was really pretty, but it just wasn't what he thought he deserved. And by the way, you guys can put in your own poll questions with super chats, okay? I'm just trying to figure out a way to get this going tonight. It feels like I'm pulling teeth tonight. It's wild. Feels a little bit similar to last night until Lisa Valenzuela got things going there. Have you seen the video by someone? No, I don't care. I don't care what they say. Don't ever watch those people, Pat. Okay? I don't know why you waste your time watching these people that come up with just anything for clicks and views. Oh, look what I heard. They're full of crap, every one of them. They just use the old spirit box technique on people like you and others who believe everything that they say. Just don't do it. Right, you love polls, but nobody's buying any polls either. All right, I'm ending this one. We need one more vote. So, involuntarily celibate. I don't agree. I think he chose not to be with some people. Although you might consider that, let's say Co liked him and sort of pursued him. She may have realized he was weird as hell and would have actually backed out of that later. So maybe that would then make him involuntarily, but we don't know. He just turned down potential people. Yeah, just don't watch those people. I don't understand. It's just so strange. True crime has turned into a joke, absolute embarrassing shit. There's just very few people like me sort of out on an island just putting factual information out there, trying to speculate reasonably based on the facts of a case. It's just, there's very few of us. It's like a lost art. Now it's cool to wildly speculate and come up with the most bizarre theories in the world, and that's how you can really build an enthusiastic audience that's willing to support the channels. You know, you got to be crazy. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, here's one. Did Kohberger purchase the balaclava and K-bar knife to commit murder? I'm going to say yes. You know, some people might not think so. The pro-burgers wouldn't think that. They would think that he bought the... oh, no, a lot of people just buy these things. Yeah, if you want your comment put on the screen, or you want to do your own poll question, just send in a super chat. All right, that's what they're for, actually. The plea deal was always on the table. Well, yeah, it's always an option. Yeah. Man. Okay, don't worry about it. Did Kohberger purchase the balaclava and K-bar knife to commit the murder? I guess we'll do a poll on that one. Just to see. It should be overwhelming. Murders, I should have put with an S, but oh well, you know what I'm saying. Great, and put an S on there. I think that's offensive. You didn't include the other three. Well, how do you know which one I'm including or not? All right. Yeah, but listening to Thompson after this, you know, you could sort of see that he just, you know, I think he just kind of gave up on. He didn't want to do the trial. That was pretty lame, you know. I understand it completely though from the side of the families who didn't want to deal with this for 20-something years. I just think where he let people down was he should have asked where the knife was put. Hey, thanks, John Dunn. Gifted 5 memberships, and there's Dixie Hippie. Yes, absolutely great. All right, so 89% said yes. All right. So for the 11% who said no, are you pro-burgers? Okay, hold on. Let me do another poll. For the 11% who said no on the last question, are you a nut job or a pro-burger? All right, there you go. You don't really get, there's no positive outcome here. There's no, like, there absolutely isn't a, you know, the yes. I mean, I guess, I don't remember what my question was. Oh yeah, it was, did he buy those for that? And you said no. Yeah. The only answer was yes. Okay, it's obvious. Now, there isn't a both. He bought the balaclava and the K-bar knife prior to moving, in the same year that he was moving to Pullman, Washington. He didn't buy them to go skiing and to go deer hunting. All right. I'm never watching again. No, I'm not I should do how I want to do it, Christy. That's how I should do it. Let's see, because there isn't both. Okay, so 73% said they're nut jobs, and and then 29 pro burgers. Hey, at least you guys are honest, all right? Hey, there you go. Look at that. 73% nut jobs and 27% pro burgers. So no winning combination. All right. No, we don't. Nike Zelda. Wow, that's amazing. Jeez, we got that many crazy people in the world. All right. There we go. There's another one. Some of these are just discussion questions. Actually, this is a... I should spell it Kohberger in honor of the pro burgers, because these pro burgers don't even know how to spell any of the people's names that are involved in the case, even the person they're defending. You guys ever notice that? It's just really... Okay, did he pick his victims before moving to Pullman or after the pool party? There we go. Did that work? Oh, that was... Wait, create a poll. Why come I can't... Oh, I have to end... Is there another poll going on, or... It's not letting me add this one. All right, you got it, though. Did Kohberger... just talk about this one. I don't know. Put a 1 if you think it was before moving to Pullman. He picked Maddie or Kaylee, whatever you want to believe, while he was over in Pennsylvania, or was it after he went to the pool party? Did Kohberger see Dylan Mortonson? Well, I'm not to those points. That's already one of my questions, Roger Sellers. I'm not there yet. You know, that's one of my questions later. All right. I'm just working through this in order. All right, so most people say 2 after the pool party. That's what I think. And I think he picked his victims after that. But thanks, Roger Sellers. You were the only one to actually do the poll question. And believe it or not, it's one that exists already. And you agree with Julie. I don't know what Julie said. Oh, well. I have no idea. I don't know who Julie is. Yeah. It would help if you typed in what they said, so then people would just know what you're talking about. I have no idea. I can't read everybody's comment. Now, what did they say? John Dunn. You mean you wish you had seen the poll question? That one? Yeah, well, we know that, Julie. Yeah. He went there to kill somebody. The pool party is... I think the pool party, he didn't pinpoint anybody. I think the pool party, it led to... That night led to an area where he discovered... Yeah, I can't see any of the comment. I couldn't see anything that she said, John Dunn. Yeah, I can't see it up there. That's weird. I saw one comment that she said. Oh, it said, oh, that one. Member for 4 months. Thanks for your in-depth study of cases with facts. There you go, see? I just can't see. It was, I found it that time, though. When was the pool party? It was like in July, right at the beginning, and right after the pool party is where he was driving around the neighborhood. So something happened at the pool party that led him to that area, and maybe while he was in the area, he found a house that he could look through a window at and be obscured. You know. Does that I think that's kind of how it went. I think it was like those nights is when he finally figured out who his victims were going to be. You know, like those nights, those early nights driving around in the area. Because he found out that little, you know, that the area where the houses are, they're just all college students living in houses there. Every single house in that area is for college students and party houses. In the complex, I call it. Yeah. Now, or why are you getting them for me, Justin Motocross? Yeah, I've put in requests for all that stuff. The pictures, maybe try to get the. That's right, you were going to do that for me. Maybe try to get the surveillance footage too, all of it. Well, why, Chris? We'll be getting it for you. Don't worry about it. Please support the channel if you can. Thank you. Yeah, we're just dead as a doornail tonight, you guys. So if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel. My channel relies on you guys, your generosity, to continue doing what we're doing. And without your help, we don't continue doing these live streams. Thank you for keeping your class, decency, morals in covering this case. Brian Kohberger, in my opinion, waited and plotted and stalked and maybe relapsed. Not relapsed into what? Maybe relapsed. Oh, into drugs. Yeah. All right, so that one. We're moving on to the next question now. Okay, we already went over this one. But we'll just put it up there again because this is the order that I intended it to put it in. You notice how it starts all the way back, and now we're moving into, you know, is there any evidence Kohberger actually met Maddie or Xana at the Mad Greek other than his phone, passively connected to the Wi-Fi there? And by the way, we looked it up, and that doesn't even mean he has to have the password or anything. He could just be driving by and it shows up on his phone as a place he could log into. That doesn't even mean he went in there. So that just completely takes that away. And thanks, Rachel. Hold on. I think I can put these on the screen. Well, thank you. And thank you guys. And because of you guys, we've, I mean, just like how crazy it is, you guys, that this channel in 5 years, 5 3/4 years, basically, has donated $255,000. That's like a house to various true crime related charities, our scholarship fund, and a DNA fund. Pretty sweet, huh? Thank you, Theo Roy. Did BK confess to his dad on the phone? That's one of my questions later on. We'll just have to do them in order. All right. Well, my question is, what did they talk about? It's just more of a discussion. Anyways, let's see. Right there. Now it's less likely that the Mad Greek is like some place that he went, just based on what passive connection means. It doesn't mean that he's been there before and it logged in automatically because without his knowledge. It means it just merely saw that there was a place called Mad Greek and it registered in the system. It shows that you're near there though, which is, you know, that's interesting because it means that he was driving on that street probably. Well, you guys are awesome too. You guys are what make it all happen. But we're currently only about 50% of a nightly goal, so not sure how I can do a show better. Kohberger completely turned his phone off 4 times, including the night of the homicides. See, this is the order that I was meant to put it in. What was he doing on those other 3 times? So that, see, I think that is really interesting. That on the night of the murders, he turned his phone off in a way that was similar to 3 other times that he did that during the months that he was there. And for me, that means one of those, at least one of those times, I think there's a chance, it doesn't mean there's any evidence or proof of it, but he was doing something that he felt necessary to turn that off, like, for example, maybe sneaking into that house, because imagine if he'd had his phone on and then he got arrested, they'd show that he was inside that house on another instance. So he doesn't turn his phone on. Maybe he went inside the house when everybody's at a party. So you remember the time frame he was at the house. It was like 10 o'clock at night, right? 10 o'clock at night, he's standing behind, the back area, looking into the windows. And maybe it's like 10 o'clock. And that's right when people in colleges get ready to go out for the evening. They might be having some drinks or whatever at home. And then at about 10 o'clock at night, they start heading out. Now, Kohberger could have been back there watching and waiting, watching them get dressed, etc. Then they go out. He watched as everybody left the house, and then he went inside the house, maybe on one of those instances. Perhaps even on one of those instances, he broke the sliding glass door so that he could get into it, knowing that college students don't, generally go get something like that fixed. So there's stuff like that that's very possible. Yeah. All right. So here we go. That's what I think. He knew the layout of the... yeah, it's possible that's why he knew the layout, but you could also know the layout just by parking back there. I mean, you can really, at least figure out how to get to Madison's room just by sitting in that back parking lot. You don't have to go into the house. All right, here's one. Do you believe, based on the new documents, Kohberger befriended Murphy the dog in the weeks leading up to the homicides? What do you guys think? It's weird. Oh, is this too long? Let's see. Did Kohberger befriend Murphy? I didn't put a question mark, but there you go. Here's the poll question. You guys go ahead and answer that. There was a few different instances where Murphy ran up the hill, basically, and didn't come back when called. Yeah, we're still at like 50% of the goal. He probably brought treats at the very least. I'm just saying, was he the guy that was up the hill when the dog went up there? Thanks, Dixie Hippie. Again, without Brown Eyed Girl, we'd be at a quarter, like just absolutely struggling. We need somebody to do one of those matching competitions again. Dixie Hippie, like the creepy bastard he is. I think he was the creeper in the bush. Well, that's what we were saying. That's what this is about. So that's what he, if he was up there and the dog went up there, then, he was in the house before and he befriended Murphy. Well, we don't know that, Dion. You don't word it like you know it as a fact. Just say, I think this. More than likely, yes. Bought treats and befriended. I think he was... Wait, what? Hey, good morning. I think he was the creeper in the bush, though. Yeah, probably. Ronnie said, thanks for the membership. What's the reasoning behind that? I don't even know what you're saying. What's the reasoning behind what? What's the reasoning behind what? You know, so the dog, you know, wouldn't like freak out when he was in the house. No, the reasoning is, God, man, do you follow the case at all, Refined Qualia? You sound completely confused. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of information out there that the dog would run up behind the house and they're at night, and they'd be like, hey, Murphy, or even in the daytime, Murphy, and he wouldn't come down, and they, you know, were wondering, man, is there somebody up there that's giving him treats or something like that? Anyways, just try following the case a little bit. That'd be great. There was a reason Murphy wasn't coming back when being... Right. That's what I was just saying. I guess I don't have to have this massive... I could probably have it like this. You know. At least something in the background there. Yeah. So it's 46 no. Doesn't necessarily have to be something that is true. Just wondering. I'm at the end of the show a little bit sooner than normal. I have to start working on a video if we can't get the numbers up tonight, because this is just not working. I got a ton more questions to go over, but it's just one of those struggle nights for no reason. Here's another one. Do you believe Kohberger parked in the back upper parking lot on many occasions watching? Not the either. God, man, I was typing these so fast. Hold on, let me fix that. Watching either Kaylee or Maddie. I do. I think that's just like a given there. I guess that's too long of a question. Thanks, John Dunn. What about the rest of you guys? Let's get some support going tonight. Let's see. Try super thanks if you're struggling. Talking about dogs, what do you make of the story regarding the neighbor's dog being... I don't make anything of that. All right, let's move on to the next one here. So this is, do you believe... I think this is like almost 100%, right? Like, again, there might be some mentally deranged people or pro-burgers in the audience who would say no, but of course, that's what he was doing, right? Let's see. Yeah, okay, here's one. This isn't a poll question. It's just, why did Kohberger choose that night specifically? My opinion is he chose that night because it was, it was a weekend, and it was right before a break, and right before he changed his license plates. That's what I think. Hey, thanks, Dixie Hippie. Man, I sure wish I didn't have to ask so much on these shows. It's just very demoralizing. Brian Kohberger at least tried to bribe Murphy into tolerating dogs like food. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Definitely possible. I believe he sat in the back lot and watched Maddie through the window. Yeah. Yeah. I think Maddie is the target. Some people don't think that. Why did Kohberger choose that night? What do you guys think? Yeah, well, I just think that was his last shot, right? Like, he's going to get his license plates changed. He doesn't want to commit the homicides before that. So, I mean, or after that, I mean. So then he makes sure it's before he changed the plates. It's a party night, and he'd looked up people drinking and, drunk and, incapacitated. I don't remember what it was, some porn searches on that. And, that was just the night. That was a perfect night. That's why he was so insistent. Like, people go, man, why would he go in? Because that was it. That was his last shot at doing it. And he just couldn't pass up. Even with the car in front of the house, even with lights on, seeing somebody moving around. By God, he was going to go in there and he was going to kill that night, no matter what, because he was getting his new plates. It was just before the holiday, and my God, he was going to do it. I just think that's it. Makes total sense, doesn't it? It's just every weekend there'll be drunk, Mary. It doesn't have to be game day. It's every single Friday, Saturday. But yeah, maybe with the tailgaters and the parties, they'd be extra. Well, try doing a super thanks, Justin Motocross. And not a super thanks, a sticker instead. Or if that doesn't work, just sign out and sign back in again. That might be your... He was going to do that night no matter what, right? That's what I think. What were all his searches? There was a few of them. We weren't going over that tonight, so I didn't list them out for you. No, he did care about that. That's why he did it at that time. It's obvious. Look at that. See? A super sticker worked. Justin Motocross. Yeah. Thanks. We're still only at like 65% again, but... Alright, so why did Kohberger choose that night? Okay, so then the next one is this one. I guess it's related to what I just said. Do you think Kohberger timed the homicides with his vehicle Washington registration? So let me try to... Did Kohberger time the murders with his plate change? His registration plate change. All right, here we go. There's one. That's this one here. You can answer yes or no. See, this is that. Why didn't you guys block this Adam guy 10 minutes ago? This guy is a nut job, coming in here with crazy religious, like zealot nut job stuff, No way, M10. No, not a chance. Jesus. No, he absolutely, that was all part of it. He was like, okay, I'm going to wait till right before I have to change my plates. It's going to be a party weekend. This is the perfect time, and that's why he couldn't wait. If the changing his plates weren't showing up, M10, as I just explained, he could have waited till the next term if he wanted to. But he couldn't now because he was about to change them all. Anyways, hey, thanks Dixie Hippie. Afterthought. That doesn't even make any sense. He was all hopped up and had to do it. Right. He had to do it because he had everything aligned and ready to go. Hey, look at that. We got comments over there on Kick. Hey, not trying to promote anything. Just wanted to share. Okay. Hey, Chandelier or whatever the hell your name is. I'm not interested. Okay. If you want to watch because you're interested in true crime, great. If you're trying to sell bullshit, don't type over there. Yeah, sure. Sure he was coming back. He hadn't been fired yet. This was way before any of that stuff. All right. Anyways, I'm going to end this one. I mean, that's like a huge portion. Yeah, he did think he had a job. This was in November 13th. He didn't get fired till December, like, 18th or something. Come on, you guys. It was way later. He probably still thought he was going to be able to hang in there. Remember how he was nice to everybody afterwards? He wasn't sure of anything. Hey, thanks, refined quality. I mean, I don't care. You guys can think whatever the hell you want. I'm just trying to argue with you. I think it's really obvious that he timed it with the plates, the holiday weekend coming up, the last party, and then when he comes back, he's going to have the new plates, and, you know. Now, you might argue that he tried to get fired on purpose, maybe. Don Welshman said, I agree with your thoughts, Gray. I also believe he thought he was ready. He couldn't wait. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I mean, you agree with everything I said. Yeah, he just, it was go time. And his urges, I think, were so strong that he just couldn't resist that day. I mean, all the things were in order, and that was it, man. He had it all planned out, and, a car driving in the front of the house isn't going to stop anything. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a thing that would be interesting to know. Like, did Kohberger did he intentionally try to lose the job there, and he wasn't going to try to stay there? That would be sort of interesting. Well, why shouldn't we take those into account? They were communicating. They were giving him more chances, right? I mean, we can't just try to make the facts try to fit a theory that we have. We got to go with what the information says. They were still giving him chances, right? All right. Anyways, let me do this one right here. These don't fit on poll questions, so they're just things to. Right, well, if he didn't know what was happening, then that means he wanted to keep his job, right? That means he just went home for a holiday. He didn't know he was in trouble. But he'd already talked to them prior to that. Like, they were saying, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. And then they were giving him more ultimatums later. I mean, I don't think he knew. I mean, he may have intentionally tried to lose his job. We don't know the answer to that question. Given that prosecutors believe one of the two girls on the second floor was the target, who do you think was the target? I think Madison Mogan myself. So I'll just do a poll over here and say, I'm not going to even put anybody else. It's just either one of these two. Don't go, well, I think it was. We're not doing it because the prosecutor said that it's one of these two. So you can go ahead and just pick one. Right, I think that's just what his apartment looked like. Do you think his car looked like it was packed, filled with stuff? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it sounded like it was apartment, not a lot of stuff was in there, but there was stuff in there, right? Like there was computers and things. I mean, doesn't that mean that he was coming back? Yeah. It'd be interesting to know if, like, he did plan to get fired or whatever. Like, I mean, that would be something where, well, he wasn't coming back anyways, but wouldn't that be suspicious seeming? Oh, wow. the guy who drove a white Elantra, he doesn't even come back. He may have thought, man, I don't want to come back after a white Elantra was mentioned or something. You know, something like that. I don't know if he thought of that before, but he might have thought, ooh, I don't want to stay here because I have a white Elantra and they're looking for one. But now he's got, well, why would he change his plates to Washington if he wasn't coming back? Yeah, I think he was planning on coming back. It just seems kind of weird. And then now he has to change them again over and maybe for the drive home, maybe, or... All right, we're still at about 75% of the goal, so we need about another, I don't know, 20, about 14 channel memberships, and then we'll be right there. I feel like both the Target, because both they had Stalker, well, I mean, Kaylee is just, you know, the person she's seeing outside doesn't mean they were watching her. Okay? It just means that they were there stalking the house while she was there also. You know, she just happens to be the one that pointed it out. Hey, thanks M10, the other. So there's CR and M10 are the membership gifting queens. They're always gifting memberships. Thank you. Thanks, Law Erie. How did wait, I got this right the other day. Lawyer. Like you're a lawyer. And thanks, John Dunn, for your gifted memberships earlier, too. It would be interesting if he applied for... What do you think of the questions so far? They're pretty interesting, right? I mean, just I'm kind of going through almost like a timeline, right? Do you guys like the questions so far, etc.? I'm a teller. He believed he could pull off the ultimate crime. Great. Do you think BK put Murphy in Kaylee's room and closed the door before the murders? You know, that's sort of interesting. You know, if you combine that with the possibility. But where was he when he was barking so loudly? You know, I think there is something to be said for what's being said, that dog maybe, you know, I think it is Murphy, but maybe it's not, you know, because it sounds like it's like in the house that the camera's in. It's so close. So if the dog's out on the deck on the back of the house, how does that work? How do you hear it so loudly if the dog is... I mean, I guess things do echo in that area and stuff like that, so... Hey, cool, John Dunn. All right. All right, let's move on to the next one. I like this one here because I think these are all part of how things went. You know, was Kohberger surprised when Kaylee was in Madison's bed? Now, you might say no if you think Kaylee was the target. Okay, so 81% said Maddie above. And here's another one. Because I think this all makes sense. Thanks, Dixie Hippie. He would have picked another girl after New Year's. Yeah, I think he was... I mean, the thing that I believe in I believe is a possibility is, like, a lot of people disagree with me on it, but I think that question's coming up here in a minute. As a matter of, yeah, coming up soon. He had never seen the Range Rover either, which is another item on the no-go list that night. What range? Who's got the... Oh, Kaylee's range. He lost all control urges. Yeah, I think he just had to go in. That's right. I think he was just... You know, you can see... Because even on pass number 4, part B, after he did the 3-point turn at Queen and King, he was driving so much faster. You guys remember that, right? I mean, he was just... All right, here we go. Here we go. Right there's another one. So that was was Kohberger surprised by when Kaylee was also in Madison's bed? Yeah, that's kind of a poorly worded question. But all right, and then here's the next question. Was Kohberger looking for Kaylee and found her in Madison's room? So that's for the people who believe Kaylee is the... And arguments for that would be that, you know, she was attacked more brutally because she was the target. My opinion is she woke up when Madison was being attacked and started fighting him, and that's why she was attacked so brutally. How dare you ruin my fantasy, or whatever the hell you want to call it, with Madison Mogen. It was for Xana Kernodle, the DoorDash. How do you not know that? After all these years. Oh man, that's wild. I mean, who's the DoorDash for? It's Xana, not Xena. All right, she was Kohberger looking for Kaylee, and so 84 no. So okay, I think most people believe Madison Mogen is the target. That was just kind of a way to weed out more, see if people given another option. All right, here we go. Here's my question that I ask. I say all the time. And there are people that believe me. I'm not some nut job like stupid, dumb ass Reck, or what's his name, True Talk, or whatever the hell his name is. That loser, a defense attorney who's languishing on YouTube on a daily basis, who said that, hey, if there's somebody out there that thinks he left a knife sheath intentionally, don't ever watch him again. Like, that's something you can't have a rational conversation about. God, what a pile of crap that guy is. All right. So I'd say this is going to be like 60. Okay, here's what I think, you guys. All right, so there's the thing on the screen. You see it. Did Kohberger leave the sheath intentionally? Here's my argument for it. Because it seems like a lot of you just don't care what the argument is. You just want to believe what you want to believe. Yeah, I don't really care what his name is, Sunshine. We weren't trying to advertise for the guy, so if you could just get rid of that, thanks. The guy's a pile of shit. It's always been a terrible... I can't think his way out of a shoebox. Really, just a poor thinker. He's always a day late and a dollar short. All right, so did Kohberger leave the sheath intentionally? Okay, M10 said, I don't have any interesting question, but super chat for 2 interesting questions you want to take. Gray from the chat. Okay. All right, well, thanks. You always, what do you mean you don't have any interesting questions? You have, like, the most interesting questions. All right, here's the... Yeah, see, like Melissa here is one of those people that doesn't have the ability to think rationally. No way did he leave it intentionally. See, when anybody comments like that, that means there's something wrong with them. All right, that means they can't think critically or rationally like other people. Because I think it could be either one, right? I think it could have been that he accidentally left it there in the battle with Kaylee. However, I think Kohberger, when he was at the sales, was studying serial killers. And he liked all the cool aspect of serial killers. All right, he thought they were just so neato, and he wanted to do all the neat little things. And, you know, so he picked some from Danny Rolling, and then he thought he would leave a calling card as the knife sheath. And you know what I wish? More people should wish that that's why he left it there. Because that means he has to sit there and live for the rest of his life knowing his idiocy and his incompetence of cleaning that sheath led right to him. And the thing is this is the argument for it. Let me just say this. Here's the argument for it. There was a knife sheath left on the bed, like kind of underneath. Right, like I can totally, if someone wants to say 45-55, but when somebody says there's no way, then there's something wrong with them. Okay, that means they're not a rational, like critical thinker in the true crime world. Okay, because that knife sheath was absolutely pristine, it sounds like. There might have been some other blood samples of Madison and Kaylee on it, but they couldn't find any single source DNA from any other contributor until they looked on the underside of the button snap, a place that somebody would forget to clean. Do you get it? Like they missed it. And I remember arguing with ChatGPT about this. And it was funny because at first they were like, oh yeah, I left it accidentally. And then I explained the circumstances, and after a while they were like, oh shit, yeah. So imagine somebody, he had the knife, he was holding it, and he wiped it down, he had it all clean, but he forgot that little spot on the bottom of the button snap because he had snapped it together, and he was going to leave it there. Here's what I want to know. Wouldn't it be interesting to know, was the button snap snapped? If it was snapped, don't you agree that he left it there intentionally? Just that alone. If that button snap is snapped shut, he left it there intentionally. Do you agree? All right? And so the thing is, I can make arguments either way. It's just crazy when people say it's impossible. So if they found that knife sheath and that button snap was snapped, then the likelihood of him leaving it there intentionally is literally, I would say, 95+%. Because there's no way in hell he's in the middle of a battle and he goes, oh, let me shut this really quick while I'm going to take my knife out and then I'm going to, snap this. Or maybe, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, and if it's not snapped, it's still a possibility. So I put it like 55-45 intentional. But that's where I've always leaned, that he left it there intentionally, because isn't that what Kohberger would do? It's a K-bar knife. Kohberger. Like he picked it, and Danny Rolling, he picked it. He would have wanted people to know it was a K-bar knife because he followed Danny Rolling, for God's sakes. He wanted it to, oh, look, it's a K-bar knife. Wow, this guy's like Danny Rolling. Yay, he's saying. And it worked. People actually started talking about Danny Rolling early on in the case because there was a K-bar knife used. So anyways, that's my argument. I can't stand when people say, oh, that's impossible. There's no way he left it there. It just you sound ludicrous, okay? Because I can see it either way. I just lean towards intentional. Now you can think unintentional, whatever, but to completely discount that he left it there intentionally is absurd. All right? It was left there. Nobody knows why. Neither does Bill Thompson. They came up with the argument that best suits the case. Like when you say something like, when you say something like, hold on, let me see. What was this one? It said, not over here. It's over here. I don't think it was intentional. I think he went back. No, he didn't, though. That's a falsehood that people believe. So anyways, I don't know. A calling card like the wet bandit. Yeah, it's a calling card, not a signature. He just wanted to leave it there so people in the future, when he'd leave perhaps a K-bar knife, maybe he was going to leave something another serial killer used. And they'd start saying, oh, wow, the serial killer, whatever. I mean, I don't know. It just makes sense to me that that's what he would do. And then a minute ago, I was just reading. It says up above, he did not go back to the house to look for the knife sheath, everybody. That is the most overstated, simplistic comment that we've seen so many times over the last 2.5 years, and it just isn't true. Okay? And if it was true, he would have been seen on 111 or 1112 King Road camera if he drove in there to look for it. I guess it's possible he parked on a side street and walked over there, but who in the hell would drive over to a crime scene with 4 bodies at 9:30 in the morning or 9:15? What a joke. Nobody would do that. Why wouldn't he go back there at 6 in the morning or 6:30 or something? Oh, he didn't remember that he lost it? That's ridiculous. He did not go back. He went to the area. He went to Moscow, Idaho. I think he went there to sort of have a feeling of the fantasy again, to kind of relive, oh, I know, inside that house, there are 4 dead people, and I'm the only one that knows it. And then he goes and he just drives home. And that's why when he got home, he went like this. You, right? He goes like that. Yeah. Why would he do that? If he left a sheath there, he'd be going like this. He'd have a picture of a face palm. If he left the sheath there accidentally, he'd be like, oh my God, I screwed up. There's no ways. Everybody! You get it? All right. So those are the arguments for, the arguments against. Oh yeah, what I was going to say earlier was law enforcement. It's a better story to tell that one of the victims, by fighting, put the item that was that led to Kohberger in the house. But for, and it's just a better story. So that's what you're gonna sell and say to the jury. Now, Bill Thompson said we believe it came off but he doesn't know. He doesn't know. And I think if you talk to an FBI agent, they'd probably tell you that they think he left it there intentionally. Yeah. So when he went like that, you guys, when he went like this, that's him saying, yeah. And I don't think he'd be doing that if he left that knife sheath accidentally. He'd be shitting his pants is what he'd be doing. Okay, so that's it. All right. So when I keep hearing these comments of people saying, oh man, you're insane. That's why that Scott Reck guy is a total dipshit. He told people not to watch my channel for merely making an argument for that. How stupid is that? That guy is a loser, man. My God, no wonder, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but what a loser. And I'm going to keep saying it too. After that, I haven't even talked about that guy. I don't even know who the hell he is. And out of nowhere, he just trashed me into oblivion. The person who read quoted me got it wrong. They didn't say exactly how I said it. Right. He didn't go back to the house. There's no way in hell he went back to the house at 9:30. People go, well, the door was open. Okay. So he went back at 9:30, and he's the one that opened the door, and he went inside the house. Well, where was he on the 1112 King Road camera? Well, he walked through that side street. Yeah, okay, so here's the way you can make that work. In some ways it makes some sense. So I'll do the other angle. At 9 in the morning, it's possible, there just isn't enough time, though, by the way. Because at 9:15, he is driving over by the A&W again. Yeah, right here. He's driving right there. And then he's already back in the Pullman at 9:30. So there's really no chance for him to have gone in there. All right? But if you wanted to pretend that he did, he could have driven over here and parked, just like we think he may have parked on 3 different passes, right there, and then walked up these stairs that go right there, and it goes right to the house. He opens the door, goes inside the house, and doesn't find the sheath, and he exits, goes out there, and he does it all in 2 minutes, and then he drives away at a high rate of speed. I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, maybe we should. We should craft a letter to Kohberger. Kohberger, listen, I think you're guilty as hell, man. I think you're a freaking lunatic psycho. But can you tell me a couple things? I don't really know how to start up a conversation with somebody like that. You know, what's the icebreaker? You know what I mean? All right, tell you what, if we get 10 more channel memberships, I'll donate 5 myself, and that'll get us up to 30-something. Yeah, what do you say to Kohberger as the icebreaker? Hey, Kohberger, you know what? You've got nice birthing hips. Maybe that'll do it, huh? I mean, obviously, that's something he thinks is a compliment. You got a nice birthing ass, Kohberger. Oh, Jesus. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the dumbest? Okay, that's the goal, everybody. I'm going to put up on the... I'll put it up on there. Hold on a second. 10... Oh, wait, no, it's 10... All right, there we go. And that's why the second date didn't happen. Well, I have to be honest. I had something similar happen to me, you guys. If you're new here, you probably haven't heard the story. But when I was, hell, I don't know. Hell, I might have even been 40 years old. I was in a bar, and I was talking to this cute waitress. And, you know, that was going well. And then she sat down. We were talking. Everything was going well and everything. And I thought her eyes looked really exotic, like a cat. And, you know, I thought, wow, they look like a cat. Like, you know, those little, the light sort of gray eyes with the pupil and everything. They're really pretty. And I said, man, your eyes look like a lizard, you know. And then everything went downhill after that. And I really don't know why. I mean, wouldn't it just be really flattering if you're a female out there and somebody said, you know, your eyes look like a lizard? That's just what came out, okay? I didn't mean it, but she obviously she wasn't the one for me, because she didn't go, hey, what does that mean? And I would have said, well, I thought you had really pretty eyes. They look exotic. I was given the chance. Yeah. So, anyways, what happened, Lillian? No, friend. You wouldn't want me to say, Lillian, you have got absolute lizard. Well, here's the thing. You guys would think it was good, right? Like if I said, let's say Lil D put a picture up on the screen and she had pretty eyes, and I said, hey, you've got lizard eyes. You'd know that that was a compliment, right? Because of the stories we've told. All right? Yeah, birthing hips is worse, okay? But, you know, mine was just, that's what I thought. They looked kind of like a lizard, but in a good way, I guess. Exotic. I guess that wouldn't have worked either. Well, why do you say that? Well, because your eyes do look like a lizard, but in a good way. Then they'd say, what the hell does that mean? That's why we have the emoji for lizard eye in here. Yeah, just pair the most random things. It is the worst line ever. I mean, yeah, I wonder if he said that intentionally, knowing that she didn't like him. And he was just trying to insult her in some way. All right, we need, what was it? Yeah, ooh, look at that. Brown-eyed girl again. You, my brown-eyed girl. Well, thank you. Let's see, you learned your lesson. No, I didn't learn my lesson. You know. You know what's weird about life sometimes? I mean, isn't it weird? You know that little, I think it's Robert Frost, that one poem about the path not chosen or whatever. It's strange how little moments in life you just sort of wonder, You know, would I be doing what I'm doing right now if, for example, it worked out with that person? Where would I be? Or let's say one of these shit jobs that you had, you were okay at it and you kept doing that. Would you still be doing what you're doing now? It just feels like things just kind of work out the way they're supposed to. Yeah, the path less traveled, right? That's the name of it. I think of stuff like that all the time. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's crazy. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have been on Court TV or Nancy Grace or... I've been on Law and Crime, and then also once with... what's her name on News Nation? Oh, yeah, Banfield, Ashley Banfield. I got on 2 of those because I heard the audio of the 911 call. I didn't analyze it very well because I didn't have time. Dixie Hippie said, "Lizard eyes. I'm never watching again." Yes, most would know. Come on, y'all. Let's go. Dixie Hip said. Hippie said. Dixie Hip. You've got birthing hit. Oh my God, here we go. Yeah, lizard eyes, that's right. Lizard eyes, I'm never watching again. Let's watch that again, you guys. Okay, we gotta do it. Here we go. It's kind of like a ritual now. I gotta have like a little thing that I just play it on the screen. Where is it again? Right there. All right.
When I was on Court TV, do you guys see that? I'm sure they'll get the obligatory, "I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again." When I was on,
I don't know why. Every time, man. I don't give a damn. I can watch it 100 times.
The obligatory, "I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again." When I was on.
Oh, come on, man. That is the greatest thing in the world, man. It's like, because it's true, too. Every time I'm on Vinny, you know, if you go to the comments section, there's this crew of dipshits that show up, and they say the same thing every single time. And that's what they say right there. But it's just so good. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, it's awesome. All right, let's get back to the some of these questions, though, all right? Where are we at on the... oh, yeah, we're still only at 2 out of 10 up there, you guys. Well, actually, 7 out of 10. So we need at least 3 more channel memberships. That'd be good. Or just do whatever you can, you know. It's oh man, I got tears that are making my nose shit. That's just crazy. All right, did Kohberger leave the sheath intentionally? Okay, well, I went over that. And then I'm going to do a poll question on that. So did I make any good arguments on that makes you go, I don't know. How about I'll do 3 answers in here this time. I'm going to go like this. How about I'll do like, and then another one. All right. Okay, I'm giving 4 options. You know, I don't, you know, just, it's like 45, 55, 50, you know, like 55, 45 would be more of the 55 yes compared to the other one. I bet they always come back to watch. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Well, they watch to hate watch. If I did, remember that one night I did a poll, and there was like 30% of the people watching were actually here to hate watch. How weird is that? What losers? You know what I mean? Like, you'd have to be a complete loser to, like, literally sit there and hate watch a show. Why don't you go watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something? You know, I'm sure that's better than, if you hate my show, that would be better than this one. By the way, that's actually a pretty good show. I don't know if anybody ever watched the whole series. It's pretty good. What does mean? You know? Hey, thanks, Mrs. W. No, I like Buffy the Vampire. I just said I like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Did you not hear the sentence right after that? Ah, 42. That's young as hell, man. Man, that's not old at all. 42 is like 20. Thank you, Mrs. W. Oh, phew. Well, I reacted. Yeah, you guys always react so fast. If I stumble, I go, what's the word right after? What's a fruit that starts with an A? Oh, apple. And there's already 5 people typing an apple before, in that 1 second time. You guys have seen it, right, in the chat? How quickly people, like, let's see, there's a fruit that starts with an A. Apple. Boom! There's like 9 apples. Apple, 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 apple. It's like a freaking, like an avalanche of apples coming in. All right, well, that's good. That's better than, so we've got yes, 24%, but then there's people that are like, we're up to 41% as a possibility. So I like that. And then someday when it turns out that that is what it is, I hope you guys come back and go, damn, Gray, you nailed that one too. Ted Bundy, Brian Walls. Brian Walls. Who's that? One of the victims of Ted Bundy? Buffy was the only reason I ended up okay growing. Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a good show. Okay. I know it sounds absolutely stupid, but it was a really good story line. I really liked the, I wish I could remember. Angel, and then, shit. What the hell's the name of the white-haired, I don't know why his name isn't popping into my head. The white-haired vampire. Jesus, that's crazy. His name's not. I watched it so many times. Oh, it's Spike. Spike, not Spoke. See, I saw it right after Jenna said Spoke. I said Spike. Yeah, so Spike. Spike was a really cool character. How he was kind of evil at first, but then you could tell he kind of liked Buffy. And the one episode that was actually really touching that everybody probably remembers was the one where I think Buffy was like. She was cloned by this other robot or something, and then he took this massive beating to save who he thought was Buffy, and then Buffy at the very end pretended to be a robot and came in and said something to him. And it was just pretty. Remember that one? That was pretty cool, where he knew that was actually her, and she was really appreciative. Remember that one? That was a good one. Have any of us seen the Amazon Prime Idaho documentary? Man, Supernatural's been on for how many years? Like 100? That thing's been on for like 19 years or something. The guy went from like a young kid to being bald, for God's sakes. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Oh, that's right. He took the beating for the sister Dawn. That's right. Glory wanted Dawn. Yeah, Glory was that sort of Valley Girl, powerful person. That was pretty funny. That's like, I mean, I watched the whole series like 3 times, but the last time I watched it was like 15 years ago, so I don't remember. Or not 15, probably 10 or so. Oh yeah, Ben. Yeah, Ben was. You remember the guy also from what's that show? Let's see, what is it? Castle. Like he was in like a few of the episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The guy from Castle. He was like I can't remember what he. I mean, he was a bad guy. He was like a evil incarnate or something. Yeah, he was that priest guy. Yeah. But anyways, all right. Well, I don't know how we got into that, but there we go. Let's see. So we did this one. Now we're gonna move on to the next one. So this is kind of an interesting question here. Where was Xana when she encountered Kohberger in the house? Where do you guys think? Like here's the kitchen right here, right? So maybe she came in, put the DoorDash bag over there, and then, was it right here? And he's coming down the stairs, and then she bolts this way, and now we know that there's a beer pong table right there. There's a beer pong table right there, but it's actually, there's more space than people think. People are just they're not using their, they're just saying, oh, look at this right there, but it's not really. Let me go open up that one picture. Yeah, right here, this one. See, look at the. So these stands for the table, they're right near the end. Getting close to the end, not right at it. But where it hits the ground is way back here. So there's probably a good 2.5, 3 feet on either from there to here, as there would be on that side from there to here. It does mean that you can't just run like I have it in the animation where he arcs around and follows her, because none of us knew that there was a beer pong table there. I did, Gray. I really did. No, you didn't. All right, no, you didn't. Yeah, and then some people think he went all the way upstairs and encountered him. That's what I think. That's what I have in my animation. She probably heard the sounds from upstairs and went upstairs. And then we just went over the beer pong table. All right, now here's one. So we know we went upstairs. Madison first. Kaylee second. This is likely. And then downstairs, did Kohberger attack Ethan before Xana? And if he's following Danny Rolling's method, he would have killed Ethan first. But I don't know how that is achieved with like Xana seeing you and then you come down and. I mean, we have to be more stealthy, like he went into the room and she didn't know about it or something. Yeah, what are we at? Well, 3 out of 10, huh? Yeah, so 3... Maybe if we, what are we at now? If we get 3 more memberships, that would get us to 30, and then I could do 5, and that'd be 35. So that'd be a cool number. But we only got 3 out of 10 on the actual challenge, but we did get 5 memberships. Let's see, I feel like it might have been upstairs. Yeah, it could have been upstairs. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what the Dateline and the prosecutor seem to say that. But aren't you guys kind of shocked at how much stuff that, like, the books and Dateline got wrong, apparently? Right. Well, a lot of people say she should have done this or that. I don't. So, like, she runs to the room, and then here's what I think. I think it's possible that he sort of, like, attacked Xana first, right near the room. She goes down, then he goes right over and cuts Ethan's throat and then his legs, and then Xana is sort of getting up, and he goes, "Hey, it's okay, I'm going to help you," and then he kills her, and then again, and she's kind of still awake even after he stabs her, but she's down, and he's thinking he's safe right now because she can't move, but she's still making sounds. That's what we hear on that Ring camera. Brian Pelosi. How's it going, Ted Bundy? The thing that I've always wondered about is because there's a reason Kohberger said, "Hey, it's okay, I'm going to help you." You know, something like that he said. He doesn't just say it because he's nuts. That's what Lisa Valenzuela always tells me. I think he says it for a reason. He's trying to get her not to scream because now there's help. But why would you say that to somebody who hasn't been attacked yet? I mean, you know, she could be right. I mean, maybe he just was saying whatever. Like, "Hey, I'm here to help." And he just he's going nuts, right? So, you know, that could be right. But it seems like let's just say he didn't do it for that reason. He's saying, "Hey, I'm here to help you." That you would only say that to somebody who's already wounded, and then there was a moment that they didn't see you and you're coming back, right? Because why would you say it that you're stabbing somebody and go, "Hey, it's okay, I'm here to help," you know, and then you're still stabbing them? I mean, that just seems weird. But I guess if he's nuts, then yeah, I mean, if you want to just go, he's just a crazy person. Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe it's a movie line she typed in. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it could just be that he's, you know, like Lisa says, like he's just a sick person, and so he just says that. But if you want to use it like if he was technically trying to deceive somebody, you would say that to somebody when they had they're injured. Then they haven't seen you, and now you're coming back pretending to be somebody else. Isn't it also weird that, I mean, I wonder if Dylan, she said it looked like a fireman. Now, do you think Dylan thought that because she heard the voice say, "I'm here to help you"? And maybe she thought for a moment that it was actually Xana called 911 or somebody, and there was a fireman there helping to see what was happening. You know, I don't know. It's weird, right? Because why would she have seen a fireman? So maybe her mind thought, "Ooh, it's a fireman." Possible. I couldn't have said it, Ethan. All right. Anyways, there's that. And so what do most people think? Did Kohberger attack Ethan before Xana? I guess I should do a poll on that. All right, there you go. There's that one. Yeah, she said it was looked like a fireman. I don't know. It was all black with a balaclava. Doesn't sound like it. Although maybe it was the Dickie suit, so she thought. I don't know. Seems like you would think it was a hazmat person. I don't know where Mary Lou likes to eat. You talking to me? No, we're not. I always wondered about that. Yeah, so let's see. People say no. Okay, so Xana, Ethan, then Xana, right? Is that how you think? Because Xana's the last one alive in the, it sounds like, in the audio. Like she's making sounds and then you still hear, even after the thud, there's some whimpering. And then it's like, then the dog's barking and then he just takes off, I think. Oh, I don't have my bots running, do I? I just realized. Oh, there it is. Stream bots. All right. So coffees, everybody. Make sure to get those coffees. Which will be working now if this thing, as soon as that thing installs. Because I don't think we have any. Right there. Nope. Not one. Man, we can't have a 0 coffee night, you guys. That's that would be the first ever. All right. Let's see. So we got that one. Then the next question is, all right. So did Kohberger leave the residence soon after Murphy started barking? You can't? Man, that's weird. That's really clear there's audio like that on there. You got to turn up your headphones or something, Joe. I don't know how you could not hear anything. It's... We're talking about the the new audio that came out. That's right, Juju Bean. So let's get me one. Hey, look at that. We got Mary Tenor got me one. All right. Thank you. Why would I want to see that, Helen? Oh yeah, with BK's mom. Yeah, I remember that. I've already showed that years ago. What Brian Kohberger's mother wrote about Bundy in the papers. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago, maybe something like that. I guess I could play it again for the people who haven't seen it. This is what Theo Roy sent in. But this is Marianne Kohberger. Perhaps one of the saddest commentaries on mankind was evident during the execution of Ted Bundy. While no sane, compassionate individual would excuse the atrocities committed by this man, neither would any sane individual applaud the passing of his funeral hearse. What have we become? Is the taking of a human life acceptable when the state takes responsibility for it? Yeah, it is. Man, so now you probably thought the same thing about your kid who wiped out 4 kids, but your kid's still alive. Yeah, an idiot. All right. So what are we at here? Oh yeah. So we still got 5. What are we at? 3 more. $27. Yeah. So if we get 3 more channel memberships, we'll be at 30, and then I'll do 5. Did Kohberger leave the residence soon after Murphy started? Ah, hell, I'll just do him now. Shit. Hold on a second. I don't need to. Maybe you guys will just do 3 more. And there we go. Okay, what do you guys think about this one? Alright, so answer this one. Did Kohberger leave the residence soon after Murphy started barking? Well, thank you guys for allowing me to be able to do that. Alright, let's see. That's the home of the BTK killer. That address he just put in there. That Ted Bundy put in the chat there. Dennis Rader. Yes. I think he did leave there. I think, now, then the next one is this. Okay, this is the one that you guys wanted me to, one of you wanted me to ask earlier. Did Kohberger see Dylan Mortonson? What evidence is for and against that? I think Kohberger did not see Dylan Mortonson. And the evidence for it would be that I think the fear of 911 being called would have trumped him wanting to preserve the vehicle's DNA exposure, and would have just got the hell out of there if he'd actually seen her and he was just too tired. He knew the dog was barking. He just got to get the hell out of there. Instead, he gets out of the house before 4:19, and he doesn't take off until 4:20 and 40 seconds, which is quite a while. They didn't lock eyes. Yeah. She saw his left eye and an eyebrow. Because he's turning right. I've already shown this, you guys. It's just... How could he not? What do you mean? How could he not? Here, I'll show you. Watch. Okay, she wasn't like that. Okay. She wasn't way out in the hallway. But it was something like, if you shut that door more, he's going around, he's coming out of the living room and turning to the right. And we also know now that when he came out of there, he would have been walking a little bit more towards the left there because he had to sneak by the beer pong table. Right? So he's turning and she sees the eyebrow. All right? I mean, it's just... He doesn't have to see her. I don't think he did. Could be, though, you know. I mean, I don't have any proof he didn't, other than what I just told you. But, I mean, the other argument would be that even if he did see her, he got to get the hell out of there, and he valued the forensic integrity of his vehicle over getting away right away, but he did it as fast as he could, and then he sped away at a high rate of speed, knowing that the cops who, the police station is right here, okay? They're going to come out like this, go right to Lauder or Taylor Avenue, and go right there, right? Where Kohberger, when he was done, he leaves the back way like this, So as soon as he gets over here on Willanta Drive, he's feeling good. He's out of there. Then he goes down like this, like that, turns right on Conestoga, and makes his way down to Palouse River Drive, which is right down there. All right, but he knew that as soon as he got out of there and he was on Willanta, he's safe because cops and EMS would be coming in like this and turning onto King Road and go to the house. But as soon as he got out of here, boom, he's gone. We're still getting trolls in here, huh? Yeah, see what I'm saying, Avi? You're a lunatic, all right? You know what's even more laughable is you. I think it's very possible he didn't see her. It's like, who knows? Nobody knows the answer to the question. But it's people with like you who think it's laughable that have the problem. Just like the knife sheath being left intentionally. You say, oh, it's impossible. Well, yeah, no, definitely isn't. Yeah, so I guess you could look at it like that. Yeah, I mean, he had to do it really quick. But it seems like if he saw her, he might have, like, cut corners in the forensic... but he was outside for almost 2 minutes before he drove away. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of it, he leaves the house before 4:19, spends a minimum of a minute and a half at his car before he even started driving away. So that's where he was doing the blood spatter mitigation, taking off his clothing. I probably put it in plastic bags. He did it really quick, and he drove away, and he knew that he did it kind of hurried, so that's why he spent so much time cleaning over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, Jesus. No, we don't know what it was, Abby. Were you there? Sure, you think she saw him. Sure. I think that's laughable. What was it? What was in his hands? It was a Ouija board. Yeah. It was a little triangle Ouija board thing that you move around on the board. That's what he had in his hands. You know, that would make a great story for you pro-burgers out there. The thing that he was carrying, the little triangle, was the Ouija board thing that everybody puts their hands on. All right? Now you can turn that into a story. Oh, so it wasn't him. It was devil worshippers. Oh, it was Odinists, everybody. There was a whole bunch of Odinists inside that house that night. Hell, one of the clown actually said that one time. Now we know for certain because it was a triangular-shaped object. It was a tuna sandwich. Yeah, I guess it could have been. None of us were there. Are you sure, Gray? You seem to know an awful lot. Did Kohberger see Dylan Mortonson? What evidence is for that against that? Okay, so then the next one is right here. If Kohberger left the house before 4:19, as police suggest, why didn't he take off until around 4:20 and 40 seconds? 2 minutes. So what do you guys think he was doing? I think he was doing blood spatter mitigation, don't you think? He literally took the time to take his the bloody clothing off, his gloves, put them into a plastic bag, gloves off last, and probably put that into another plastic bag, which dramatically minimized the blood at the into his car. Now, he might not have had very much blood on him at all. You know, he might have had some blood here and there, but maybe very little on his feet, for example. And maybe that's why they didn't find any outside, but he definitely wanted to make sure he didn't expose the inside of his car to that. Nah, I don't think so. I think he just... Why would he do that? Like, if he took off the hazmat suit inside the house, that would be exposing his own DNA material to the inside of the house. It seems like that'd be dumb to do that. It seems like you would leave the hazmat thing on that was protecting your possible DNA from entering into the environment. That's why he in his paper you would wear that while you're in the house, right? All right, let's go to the next one. Well, we might have to have like a two-parter. What time is it right now? 2:15. Let's see. This one is: did Kohberger dispose of his bloody clothes and her knife prior to his phone pinging near Blaine? See, I like that one. So when his phone pinged at 4:47 near Blaine, has he already got rid of the bloody clothes and her knife? So I guess that would be, let me do a poll on that one. Or I gotta end this one. 67% of the people said no. Did Kohberger see Dylan? And if you don't know what we're talking about when you say before Blaine, then I can't help you. I'm not sure I spelled Blaine right, but I think I did. Yeah, I did. Blaine's right here. So at 4:48, there's missing 16 minutes of time. So knowing that, maybe that can help your answering that, but there's missing 16 minutes. However, I came up with a route. So let's say he was right here. This is where he comes out. And then this is Palouse River Drive. Watch this. It goes all the way out here in the middle of nowhere, really. And then you turn here and you drive down. These roads are just completely in the middle. There's hardly any houses, and drives all the way down here. And then he cuts across. I think it was it right there? Hold on. Let's see. He goes out to, let me get the right one. He comes here, down. And then I think it's right here. That's right. So right there, he takes a right on Janice Troy Road, and then he comes right through here like that. And then look at that. It goes right through Blaine, and then it comes out right at the same intersection that everybody keeps talking about. If he had taken what used to be Highway 95 right here, they just changed it to this. This was not there in 2022. In November, this was Highway 95 over here. Does that make sense? Like all of this was Highway 95. This was not there. So, it comes out right there. And when it does that, it's almost exactly 4:48, not 4:47. It's almost exactly 4:48 there, right? I know, it's way better. It's like straight as an arrow and thicker and I don't know. What do you guys think? So it's possible that maybe way out here he had a pre-dug hole that he did on some other random day, pulled over, and within 1 minute put it in there, covered it with dirt, put a rock on it, whatever. And then boom, he's over here, and he gets on the highway, turns his phone on here because now he feels safe because there's no evidence of him driving from here to here. And then he needs it on so that he can figure out how he gets through this crazy maze that he took to get over to Colton and then up north again. And then up here, believe it or not, he turns on Kirkendall Road right there, drives this way. I mean, see, this right here is exactly what I think he was doing over here. Why did he take Kirkendall Road here? He's driving up Highway 195, right? You just pull up into here, and you go to your apartment. It's right up there. There's no reason, but instead he wants to avoid like any sort of busy area. So he goes right here and turns on this crazy little road, drives up like this, and then left on Johnson Road, comes up here, and then his vehicle's spotted on some cameras right around in this area. Then he goes up, and then he winds his way back up to his house. But how did he know about this Kirkendall Road here? You know, he did so much stuff prior, just trying to figure out how to do. He wanted to avoid showing up on a main highway coming into town, just like when he left for the night. Let's see, where was right here? This is Nevada Street. At 2:53 in the morning, his vehicle is seen heading just like I'm doing right here. He's heading southeast on Nevada Street. And then I actually drove this when I was out there. It was absolutely amazing. I drove like this, down and around like this, and then the vehicle comes out right on the highway. So you don't even, like, there's no main, like, okay, here he is, everybody. He just disappears, and he shows up on the highway, and there's no camera footage of him at all until 3:02 right here at Floyd's Cannabis Shop, right there. And that films the car. And guess what? When I timed it, I mean, it was just so awesome. And when I say awesome, that the timing, not that I did it. What I'm saying is right here, at 2:54, I have the phone turning off like right here. And from right there, and then we pretended it was a certain time. Okay, I say, okay, let's say it's 2:54, 2:54. It would take 8 minutes then to get to Floyd's Cannabis Shop. And guess what? It was right there. It was like 3:01:40 or something. I mean, it was like perfect. Right here at Floyd's Cannabis Shop. Doing that route that I said. However, if he had taken the more direct route where he was right there and was right to the highway and turns left, he would have been there way quicker, because that's a freeway and you're driving 50 miles an hour or so. This road here is slow driving, kind of. You know, you come down, it's like 30 miles an hour, and it's windy. So that would have got him there probably at like 3:04 to Floyd's. He would have got to Floyd's Cannabis Shop earlier at like 3 o'clock. But it worked perfectly. I know people don't really care about stuff like that, but I do. Did Kohberger dispose of his bloody clothes and her knife prior? And what do we got? 72% said yes. All right. Yeah, this is just sort of, why do you think Kohberger took such a strange route home? I think he's just avoiding, just throwing things off, having his phone, I don't know if it was stupid that he ever turned his phone on. He should have had a route memorized. But he's just being deceptive, really. So what were the poll questions that people asked in comments that I was going to talk about later? Let's see, it was, did Kohberger see Dylan Mortonson when leaving the house? Okay, that was one we just did. Then another one was, did BK confess to his dad? Okay. Yeah, see, we still have some more here, questions. So move on to the next one now. So here, I think that's the next question. It was this one right here. Do you think Kohberger's parents were aware of what he did when he called home in the 6 a.m. hour? See, that's exactly what Theoroy was saying. Right? So I'm just doing it in the order. I didn't want to take it out of order. Do you think Kohberger's parents were aware of what he did when he called home in the 6 a.m. hour? You don't think he might have said something like, man, I really screwed up, you guys. He was just, but I don't think so, because he was kind of proud of what he did. So, probably a no. All right, you guys, if you're out there and you can help support the channel, that'd be awesome. Seems like whenever I get to the point where I donate the 5, it just goes. All right, so most people say no. I think his dad became aware. Okay, that's a good question. Is like, okay, so I'll give you like 2 more seconds. No. Most of the people say no on that one. So here's one right here. Was Kohberger's dad suspicious after picking, or, you know, like before picking Kohberger up and on the drive home? Okay, I think that's I would say yes on that one. I think his dad absolutely was suspicious of Kohberger. Hey, thanks, Fergie family. All right, and look at that, DJ Gambrel. You've been around a long time. I think longer than your emojis say. Let's see. John Dunn. All right. So 64 said, yeah. So you guys think that he shows up there and he wasn't suspicious at all, even on the ride home? Man, I don't think so. I think his dad actively tried to change the topic both times they were pulled over, and I nobody can convince me otherwise. I think the much bigger event that happened in Moscow, in that area, was the quadruple homicide, not the Brent Kopacka deal. And he knew that his son drives a white Elantra, which is the suspect vehicle in the case, and he knows his kid. And I think he thought there might be something going on here, and that's why both times they were pulled over in Indiana, he tells the story about, oh, there's this weird thing was going on, and his kid just wanted to talk about something else. I mean, Kohberger wanted to talk about, Brian Kohberger wanted to talk about something else. I think that's a little suspicious that his dad twice brings up the same damn story about Brent Kopacka. What's going on, John Dunn? Do you have a like your is it stuck on your computer? That's funny. Exactly. Give me a break. He knew. I think the dad knew when, on the way over there, I think he was suspicious because their whole family at that point knew, it was a national story, that the suspect vehicle is a white Elantra, and they knew that their kid was, oh, it won't post your message. Okay. And, so he had to been suspicious at that point because they know their kid. And they knew that there was something off about him all those years. And they have no way, but then... And then, a lot of stuff doesn't turn out to be true, but then, the book and other people have said that, like his sister was like, hey, check his car. I think he did it. And they looked at his car. I mean, I wish we could know if that was true or not. Right. We don't know if that's true, though, Jenna, because, that was in the book and the special, and it turns out a lot of their stuff isn't accurate. And the prosecution wasn't even going to call the sister or anything. I know. That's what I think, M10. I mean, he was just sitting there like, oh, yeah. He seemed like he was trying to change the topic. Like have the cops, mind diverted. But where Brian Kohberger was smarter than his dad. Because he was thinking, why are you even bringing up any criminal activity at all? Just shut the hell up. We're gonna go get some Thai food, for God's sakes. That was a stupid answer, too, when the cop said, so you guys are coming from Pullman. Where are you headed? Well, we're getting some Thai food. Well, that's a hell of a long drive to get some Thai food, don't you think? 2,000 miles? It must be pretty good. I'm just paying to hear your catchphrase again. I'm never watching again. Or, but Gray. That one? Which one? I mean, there's so many. All right, next one. So here we go. Why did Kohberger go back to Moscow, Idaho around 9:15 a.m. on the same morning of the murders? I think he went back there to, like an arsonist does at a fire, they go back to look and watch the mayhem that they brought. And he got to relive it. That's why when he came home, he went, yeah! He was so excited. And he did not go back to look for the sheath. Right? Who in the hell would go back to what you would assume would be an active crime scene? However, was he listening to Broadcastify, one of the scanner audio software programs, and he could tell that there was nothing going on? Maybe that's what he did also. So he wanted to go, view his crime scene, but he wanted to do it, and he saw that there was no activity on the scanner audio, drove over there, drove by somehow, and was able to kind of look from a distance, maybe behind the Sigma Chi house back in that area. When I say that, what I'm talking about is wrong town there, back here on this street. So maybe when he was over here driving by the A&W, he turned here, went up like this, drove on Nez Perce Drive, looked over there, saw there was nobody there. Then he drove. This is exactly how I would get back to the highway. You drive right up there like this, boom, you're on the highway and you're going back home. Right? Really simple. That's when I would go there, I would stay over at this Best Western right here. Right? And I'd usually have a room right over in this spot, and I'd get out, get right onto Farm Road, drive right down like this. And when I wasn't getting tickets, I would keep driving around like that. And then it just brings you right in behind Sigma Chi right there, and you come down like this. So maybe Kohberger, when he came into town, he drove on Taylor Avenue and then took a right here. Now, his vehicle would not be spotted on Linda Lane doing that. Miraculously, he'd just be turning right here. And then he'd be turning on Nez Perce Drive, coming up around, and then eventually making his way back to Highway 8. That takes you all the way back to Pullman, Washington. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, who the hell knows what he did, but that kind of makes sense to me. Well, so we got that. And then the next one is, why did Kohberger take the selfie image of himself at 10:30 a.m. after returning from Moscow? Why did he take that? You think it was like a trophy, or forget the behavior panel, man. Jesus. They're so good after the fact, you guys. They are fantastic after the fact. You know what they are? They're basically, it's like, what do you call it? I mean, they're entertaining for sure. I mean, I was like, oh, look at he twitched his eyeball. That's, I mean, just think about it like this. How come they never do cases before, an arrest is made or something? I mean, I think they're entertaining for sure. I mean, I like them. I'm just saying, it's just, for me, sometimes it's a little like, spirit boxy kind of. Look at that. See how his lips are pierced, pursed a little bit there. Yeah, he's obviously nervous about something. Now look how he grabs his left wrist. That's a little too much. Mm-hmm. Right, on the victim. Yeah, come on, Elizabeth. Yeah, now you can spot all kinds of stuff. Look at, when we watched Kohberger during the victim impact statements, he looked like a monster sitting there, devoid of any real feelings, got angry a couple times, probably. But it doesn't take, like, what's interesting about that? Like, can't you just tell yourself by watching it? I mean, doesn't your own instinctual feelings while watching it tell you what the reality is? You don't need somebody to tell you that what you're seeing is correct. You just kind of know, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying anybody can do a great, like, after the fact, after somebody's pled guilty or has even been arrested and charged, now it's so easy to go back and look at any statements they made and come up with something that fits the overall sentiment towards that person. Isn't it? I'm just trying to tell you, it's sort of like, the psychics that are out there. They're full of crap, man. The psychics that are out there, they're probably, and when I'm saying full of crap, I don't mean that their observations are full of crap. I'm saying, how good of a psychic would I be if I pretended I was, given the way I look into cases, right? So I look into cases, and I could pretend that I was a psychic. I derived my thoughts from the spirit world, and I would probably be one of the best psychics there was in the true crime world out on social media. But I wouldn't do that. It's sick. It's like it's a sick thing to do. It's garbage. Gray, I don't know. There's this one psychic who was saying, oh my God. I've said stuff too. So what I'm saying is, there's stuff that I've said in this case that later on became absolutely true, and nobody else was saying it. And I could have gone back and pretended I was a psychic, and people would go, did you hear what that gray psychic said? Wow, he was saying. And, all it is people that are, like, I think I'm pretty intuitive in cases. I'm not calling myself an intuit. Those people think themselves as something else, right? I'm just saying I'm intuitive. I can pick up things and put things together that actually make sense. All right? I don't know. I don't know what to say. But I don't derive it from the spirit world. It's not that I know of, anyways. I mean, there's still that option down the road. I'll be wearing a Swami hat. One day you're just going to tune in, and I'm going to have a Swami hat on and a crystal ball in front of me. It's going to be strange. This hippie psychic music, too. Oh, yeah, I still have that somewhere. Let me see if I can find that. It's cool. I was just listening to it. Well, it wasn't. It was in I had a channel called, and it's different, too, by the way. I have a channel it's still out there. It's called Personal Paranormal Experience. All right? It wasn't me being a psychic. What it was is, how everybody out there has those things that happen to them that they can't explain? Like, you go, man, this one time, it was so crazy. I did that. And I would let people tell their stories. I thought it was really interesting. And I'd even make videos on them. I mean, they were crazy stories. Like, one guy saw shadow creatures and stuff. I'm not there to judge them or anything. I'm just going to let them tell their story. That's all that channel was about. And, I had told my story. I mean, haven't we all had... I mean, put a 1 if you've had some weird sort of seemingly paranormal experience that you had yourself that you can't really explain. When people say that they have a bunch of them, then I don't listen to them. All right, but if you say that, yeah, I had this one time, it was so weird, I think those are interesting. So the one that I had, I mean, all the freaks know it, but there's a lot of new people here, is that when I had a brother. I was 20 and he was 22 years old, and he died in 1986 at the University of Oregon, March 13th, and he died from, his heart just started beating strangely. He had some coke in his system, and that's when it was really big and everything. And nobody knows if that's what it was, or he had like an enlarged heart or something. But he died, and then at my fraternity, they named the basketball court at the fraternity the Grant Hughes Memorial Basketball Court. It was the Theta Chi fraternity. Then the next year, I'm shooting baskets on his birthday, March 9th, the next year, so 360 days later. It's drizzling outside, March, right? I'm shooting baskets in the rain, shooting baskets, just thinking about him on the Grant Hughes Memorial Basketball Court. Then I look up in the sky and I see this little dot. And I was like, what the hell's that? And then it got bigger and bigger, and I could see it was a balloon. And then all of a sudden, I'm still shooting hoops, and then this big cellophane balloon floats into my hands, right next to the basketball court, and it's a big happy birthday balloon in the middle of a rainy day on his birthday while I'm shooting hoops outside. That's pretty weird, don't you think? I always thought that was a message from him or something. Yeah, isn't that crazy? And then the balloon floated on the ceiling for like a week after that. Yeah, so that was my story that I told on there. You can go find them out there. It's called Personal Paranormal Experience. Maybe Grant Hughes or something as a channel. And there's about, I don't know, 6 or 7 people's stories that I spent a lot of time making, but nobody watched them, so it wasn't feasible to do. Yeah. Isn't that crazy, though, that story? I mean, it's just something I'll never forget. Even people at the fraternity still tell other people that same story. Oh, crazy, Kelsey. Right. I got to tell you, it was weird because I was the one that went to the hospital to see my brother. He was dead there. I just broke through all the doors, went in there, and I touched his hair, and everything just felt fake at that point. You could tell he wasn't there, even though they worked on him for like hours. I mean, today I think he would have lived with this technology they have now. Defibrillators and things, but I don't know. It's just felt like something was missing. That's right, a message from the sky. That was my video. There's another one in there called "Begone Shadow Man." I mean, it's a totally normal guy. He said that he saw these shadow people. I mean, he was totally skeptical. I don't know. You just gotta watch these things. That's what I like, is that people were just telling their stories, Like I would interview them on a call, like a Zoom or something, and they just say what they saw, and then I try to put it to life by, they send me photographs and things like that. Yeah. Oh, come on, Cecil. You're trying to copy my story. That's not a personal paranormal story. I mean, that's exactly the same story that I said was when I used to play basketball. Well, why weren't you subscribed before, M. Morgan? When I used to play basketball, I played basketball for years, but when I was a kid learning basketball, I was being driven, all the kids at it was like a day camp. And then we did some extra thing one night. So he drove all the kids home, and I was the last one left, and I was like 12 or 13. And I was the last one still in the car, and he just drove right by my house, even though I said, I live right here, and he kept driving. And I said, hey, I live right there, and he wouldn't respond. Then I had my hand on the door, and then eventually he turned around and drove me home. But that was always something that always bothered me, that one. Because there was something, it seemingly not good was going to be happening. Or like an attempt. Right, I was just, mine was basketball camp, Timothy. Come on, man. I've told the story like 5 times on here at least. Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know, but yeah, maybe Cecil. I'm sure it's a lot of predators out there. You became a member, M. Morgan, or you subscribed? I don't know what you mean. Yeah, that's crazy. Paranormal first-person stuff sounds like 2 of my favorite podcasts, Spooked and Radio Rental. Hey, all right. Great way to advertise. I'm glad. Yep. Yeah, I think he did have bad intentions. Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't done anything on there for like 4 years probably on that channel. But you guys should go check it out just to, maybe see if maybe we can revive doing interviews and just putting them on there as interviews. I can't spend the amount of time doing the editing together a full video with graphics and things. I could probably put a few photographs up or whatever, but that's about it. Yeah, spirit boxes are shit. Absolute garbage. Anybody that believes in that, you're just as dumb as they are. All right, let's see. So here's the last one that I have on here, but maybe tomorrow we can, come up with more. What effect did the 2 traffic stops in Indiana have on Kohberger? And then I think that's probably what led to him dismantling his car to clean it and sorting his trash and put it into the neighbor's garbage. I think if he hadn't been pulled over twice in Indiana, he wouldn't have done any of those things. He would have just gone on living totally normally, trying to blend in. But he went into absolute panic mode when he got pulled over twice, even though they still say to this day that those 2 times he was pulled over were just coincidental. I have a hard time believing that, but I think that is why he dismantled his car, and that's why he was wearing gloves, sorting his trash, and wearing gloves around, because he thought at that point, man, that knife sheath I left there, they're onto me now. I don't know. It wasn't that long, Cecil. It wasn't an hour or anything. What did your guys say to you for an hour? Mine was just like, he drove a quarter mile past my house, didn't say a word, and then turned around. He changed his mind. That's what happened in that one. Yeah, he got paranoid after those 2 times he was pulled over. Those, if they were random pullovers, they had a huge effect on the case and circumstantial evidence. Like, man, they made him absolutely paranoid. He knew in his mind that they were onto him at that point. And his dad must have been a little bit like, whoa, and tried to throw the cop off twice, it seemed like. Yep. Yeah, I mean the first one, but I think they were within 15 minutes, right? All right. Well, anyways, why don't you guys, if you have poll questions, don't give me your answer. If you have any poll questions or things, topics you think, I mean, I still got more to go because we just ended there. But I think we should do the same thing tomorrow, unless there's some breaking news and we have new stuff to go over. But I kind of want to keep going through this kind of discussion and poll questions because I think it really helps kind of solidify the thoughts that people have, or makes you think about something that maybe you hadn't thought about. So if you have any poll questions or topics, send it over, but don't explain to me why you know. I like to have my own thoughts when I do the case. All right, so if you give me a question, I can look at it and I'll tell you what I think, and then you're more than welcome to tell me what you think in the comments. But if you send me something with your own thoughts about it, I probably won't go over it on the show, because now I won't know if what I came up with is because you typed it in. So that's why I don't watch other YouTubers other than the conspiracy nutters when people go, "Hey Gray, watch this idiot." I watch those, but I don't watch any other YouTubers really for any amount of time. Sometimes I'll show up on a channel and go, "Hey everybody, say hello for a minute," then take off. But I like to, when I do my show, to have my own thoughts. That's why they're a lot of times sort of unique, different than what other people are saying, is because I'm not listening to sort of the same thing, the talking head, the repeated things that people say over and over and over and over again. I just think about it the way I think about it, from covering thousands of cases over like an 8-year period. And not saying I'm always right, but I'm definitely not wrong often. I mean, it's like I'll admit when I'm wrong, but I'm just saying, like, we're pretty accurate over here because we use the facts to come up with even the speculation. And there have been times where I was way off, but it's not very often because of that. And we do a lot of like innovative stuff here, like think how to work through a case differently than other people. We get copied a lot and never given credit for it. It's amazing. Yeah, we know, Jenna. Yeah. Who are you talking to? Yeah, well, I would say that, I always use the one example of the time that I was way off, because there isn't really very many, but the one when I was way off was that one, that Hispanic lady that was pregnant. She was married to an older guy. She was still like in high school or something, like 18, maybe freshman in college or something. But then you see her walking away. She's pregnant. I thought, wow, maybe she left to be with some other guy that's really the father, something sort of reasonable. And it turns out that she went to go pick up a crate, like a little baby. What are those little cages you put the babies in? They're not cages, but like a thing that you build, and then you put a baby in it. Yeah, so she went to go pick one of those up off of Facebook, and when she went to the house, the person that was pretending to sell it killed her, strangled her, and cut the baby out of her. And she wanted it to be her own. I mean, is that the sickest thing you've ever heard in your life? But who the hell would have came up with that? Like, that isn't even something that's on anybody's, like, oh, that was my first thought, Gray. Oh, and check this out. While the baby was missing, crib, there you go. Man, that's the only person that came up with it. A crib, for God's sake. And then during the process of looking for this missing person and the baby, a baby shows up on top of a trash can in the same area. And it was alive. And that wasn't even related. I mean, it was completely unrelated. It was just, how could it not be? It was just crazy. But the baby died, the mother died, and I'm not sure what happened to the mother. I mean, not the mother, the psycho who killed. And she brought the baby to the hospital and pretended she had given birth. Crazy. Yeah, so that's one of the ones I'll admit I completely got that one wrong. I wasn't even close. You're just a million miles away. Well, babies play in cribs, don't they? I mean, it's kind of a big area in there. Yeah, cage. Yeah. Yeah, what is it? You got a baby at home and they look like that, right?
Let me out of here, Clay!
Yeah. Yep, they do play in, but nobody calls it a cage. Right, I couldn't remember the name of it. I called it a cage because I couldn't remember the word crib. Yeah, all right. So anyways, that's going to do it for tonight. If you guys have any other, topics, I mean, we can continue on from this point. But I mean, I don't know. It's like whatever you guys want to talk about, we can talk about. Let me go up to here. All right, so thank you to Sandy Shirley, who gifted a membership, and this account, and Ralph K. David, then Brown Eyed Girl with the only cat eye of the night. Then we have Michelle H. gifted a membership, then Allie Cake, then Leanne Bell, then Allie Cake again, Michelle H., Ralph K. David, then John Dunn with a gifted 5 memberships, then Dixie Hippie, Roger Sellers, then Julie, then John Dunn for been a member for 28 months. He used to be a moderator. Maybe one of these days we'll have to make John Dunn back to his moderator, because he kind of took off. He had a hiatus for a while there. I don't know if he'd be interested or not. But then we have Rachel508. We don't have a lot of guys as moderators. Thank you for keeping your class decency morals. Well, thanks, Rachel. Then we have Julie gifted one, then Theo Roy, Dixie Hippie, then John Dunn gifted 5 more, which equals a cat eye. Then Dixie Hippie, Justin Moto, and then we had Dixie Hippie, Refine, Qualia, Don Welshman, and then Old and Tired, and M10 gifted 5, then Laurie, Lawyer, I mean. And then, oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm just reading through these. I meant to put them on the screen. All right, Theo Roy, Dixie Hippie, John Dunn, Justin Moto, 1995. Right. That's what's kind of strange. See, that was something that was kind of weird about the time, what Lisa Valenzuela said. See, he was linked on December 19th, But you know what's interesting? Haven't we heard a million times that they were already following him on his way home? Like they knew who he was. How many times have we heard that? That when he was driving home, they were already aware, they were kind of keeping track of where he was. Because on the 19th, he was already home. So who are you tracking at this point? He's already home. You don't need to track him. I mean, it's crazy how many times we heard that. Yeah, it could have just been totally bogus. But at the same time, who knows, right? So many crazy things out there. Oh yeah, then Dixie Hippie, Justin Moto, Dixie Hippie, Refine Qualia, Don Welshman. I agree with your thoughts, Gray. I also believe he thought, I think I went over these as they were coming in. Thought he was ready. He couldn't wait any longer. Yep. And then Old and Tired, 43 months. What is that? That's 3.5 years. M10 gifted 5. Then we had, that's right, now we got Laura Erie, Dixie Hippie, Justin Motocross, then M10. I don't have any interesting questions. I don't even remember what the questions. Did anybody put the questions in that you said that I would answer? Because I didn't see them. Sorry if I missed them. Justin Motocross. He never thought they would use third-party DNA either. He relied on these academic rules. I don't know. I mean, everybody is so aware of that stuff now. John Dunn, let's go, he said. Then Kami, then Brown Eyed Girl gifted 5. And thanks, Brown Eyed Girl. Very generous. Dixie Hippie, and I appreciate everybody in here who's supporting the channel as well, and also people in here just watching and hitting the like button. Mrs. W gifted a membership. Then Ted Bundy, a serial killer. Ted Bundy again. Then I gifted 5. Then Ted Bundy gave out the address of let's see, BTK Dennis Rader. Fergie family. Deidre Gambrell. John Dunn. Roger Sellers, I'm just paying to hear your catchphrase again. I'm never watching again. And Mariska, appreciate you, she said. Let's see. Well, let me know. Send me an email, John Dunn, if you're ever interested. Well, we only got like, I mean, I don't know. How many guys are there that are mods? I mean, like Timothy Cecil, myself, and man, I don't even know. We don't know what they're doing in there. Yeah, Cairo, he hasn't been around for like 2 years at this point. Yeah, there's more. I think there's more. Scott Holland used to be one, but he disappeared too. But anyways, I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And, you know, as they always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Make sure to send me those, oh, okay, cool, John. Yeah, you guys send me some more questions and discussion things that we can talk about. Yeah, Leon just disappeared. Well, he said he had to start working again back at the bar. I don't know. I thought he was retired. Here we go. Yes, and thanks, and exactly what John Dunn said. Thank you all the mods for all the stuff that you guys do, dealing with all the crazy trolls, etc. that come in here. All right, here we go. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, like rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector.
Full reflector, interceptor, and a needle than a spectre with a vector.
On his specter, with all respect, y'all. Just remember I have a type of fucking check ya.
I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll send it to you straight out of the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Look at you guys. Oh, my God. The last comment. Why did he buy 2 Spire tires in 6 months? People smuggle drugs in tires. Maybe it was a drug sale gone wrong, everybody.